Smoked out.
Young nigga in the trap, young nigga getting money, young nigga flipping packs, young nigga stacking hundreds.
Hey, it's your boy Smoked Out Bill. You already know. Checking in, Famous Athletics. Make sure you like and subscribe our videos. All about boxing on this side, baby. You know what time it is. So yeah, I'm here to talk about a little bit about the Canelo versus Triple G rematch, which takes place May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 2018. Pretty much what I want to cover that topic, and I want to cover some things a lot of people didn't talk about in the first fight. Canelo obviously is more of a boxer than Triple G, and Triple G is more of a hard puncher, big puncher compared to Canelo. I mean, they're both big punchers, but when you put them side to side and compare them, let's be real. Triple G is the bigger puncher than Canelo. Canelo moved up in weight. I don't think he brought his power. Obviously not, because he couldn't knock Triple G out, and he couldn't knock out Julio Cesar Chavez his last bout before Triple G. So it's not like Canelo brought his power up to 160. Now, as far as how the rematch will take place, I believe Canelo will outbox Triple G this time around, because like we all seen and we all know, there's no way that Triple G is going to get knocked out by Canelo unless some miracle happens. So I think in this time around, Canelo will turn the volume up a little bit and outbox him, and this time he'll make it even more clear that the first time around he should have got the decision, which I agree, and I believe he should have, just off a simple fact that it's if you're considered a big puncher, and I respect that you do hold all the belts in your weight class. Well, you hold the majority of all the major belts in your weight class. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're being promoted as this big heavyweight puncher and you're not and you actually fight a big name in a big bout like Canelo and you don't knock him out, well, I mean, we all know in that case it always goes to the guy with the bigger name, with the more skillful fighter, and I believe Canelo was the more skillful fighter that night. Triple G is all the way around one-dimensional. He doesn't bring any extra effects to him. If you look at his fights, he pretty much comes at you the whole fight, 12 rounds, jab, then he hits you with the right, over the top with the right. But it's like I said, he's not as skillful as Canelo. You can't really say Triple G is a skillful boxer. And if he does outbox you, it has to be somebody who's not really that good of a boxer. Like, you look at his past opponents, you can't name none of them and say that any of his past opponents were real good boxers. You could just say they're okay, I guess. They're skillful boxers. But as far as being a real good boxer, my definition is something like Floyd Mayweather, something along the lines of Canelo Alvarez, which is hit and don't get hit, be sharp with your defense. Triple G doesn't have defense. That's one. I'm not really taking none away from him. He's still Triple G, but we all know his defense is not on point. That's one, because if it was, Daniel Jacobs would have never tagged him as much as he did. Same with Canelo. We all seen how Canelo ate his punches and dodged his punches, but Triple G kept getting hit every night, the whole round. And it still managed to be a tie for some reason, a draw. Well, like I said, I believe this time around it won't be a draw. Canelo might step his volume up, which I believe he has to, in order to take the belts away from the champ. Now, let's bring it back to old school boxing. For those who know boxing as much as I do, if you put Mike Tyson in the ring back in the 90s and he did not knock out his opponent, guess what? Everybody was gonna look at Mike Tyson different, and it would have been like, oh, well, Mike Tyson got exposed. Well, how does that change in 2018? I don't think it does. So Triple G didn't knock Canelo out, which was something he was supposed to do, by the way he's being promoted, by the way his record looks, and it didn't happen. So in this case, we all know that if you can't beat him what happens next is they look at who's the bigger name. In this case, Canelo's the bigger name. So like I said, everything that we've seen, it played out in such a way where I believe if Canelo was to beat him in the first bout, then they would never make as much money as they're about to make with the second bout. Because, come on, man, let's just go back to the scorecards. Let's look at what the scorecards were. We all know that this was a paid bout. A lot of Mexicans feel that Canelo lost the bout, but if Mexican style is coming forward, brawling, and getting a knockout, and that's what you guys like to see, a Mexican style bout, then you can say you really don't know about boxing. Because how could you get mad at somebody that basically boxes you 12 rounds and tries to get a decision over you by boxing you? At the end of the day, the game is called boxing for a reason. It's not called brawling. So anyways, that's just my take. My overall take on it is Canelo should have got the decision. Triple G walked away with a draw just to save his record and to save his belts, because they know they could have probably made more money in a rematch. But it's like I said, hopefully Canelo sticks to the game plan and turns his volume up a little bit more, because once you look back at the fight, Canelo didn't bring his power up to 160. There's no way in hell you guys could say that. 160 is a whole different division. Chavez Jr. didn't get knocked out. Triple G didn't get knocked out. When you look at Amir Khan, that was at a different weight class. It was not at 160. It was at 154, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was at 154. Or at 152. I believe it was around that. The measurements around that line. But Khan had to come up in weight. So even with Canelo moving up and fighting Chavez Jr., he fought him at 164, which is 4 pounds heavier than the bout he fought Triple G in. And he still couldn't knock out Chavez Jr. with 4 pounds extra on his body. So, I mean, that's just what I think. If you guys think different, comment below. Let us know what you think. Subscribe and make sure you listen to all our videos for more. It's your boy Smoked Out Bill checking out. You already know, Famous Athletics. You dig? And I'm out.
Them niggas can't be around them. Fuck 100, let's keep it 1,000.
Bring the beat, but don't be about it. Niggas taking L's for you round the rousing.
Smoked out.
Young nigga in the trap, young nigga getting money, young nigga flipping packs, young niggas stacking hundreds, young niggas in the trap, young niggas getting money, young niggas flipping packs, young niggas stacking hundreds. Red rum, nigga. Red rum, nigga. Red rum, nigga. Red rum,